Mother, you know what? I got a lot to say in this video. So, put your seatbelts in and embrace in. It's been a while, and I'm gonna go ham. So I've not talked to you guys in a while. There's a reason for that. It's because, look at this. So, for like a year now, I've been growing this, and nobody said I could. Everybody said that, oh, you like the green thumb. It's the only living thing that I have to keep company with. The only organism that is here. It's my little plant. For the life of me, can't remember where I got it, why I got it. All I know is I have knocked it over like 20 times. I give her water, and she looks not too healthy, but she's still getting some sunlight, so the photosynthesis, right? In theory, only a few drops of water. But yeah, that's not what you're here to hear about, right? Me and my pet plant. Say hello. So I just got back from tailoring my pants. I lack so many clothes. So I watched this interview with Joe Rogan and Yun Park. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. Yun. YEO Park. She's a North Korean defector. Always had a lot of admiration for this woman. She has fought for the civil rights and humanitarian rights of the North Korean people. She escaped when she was very young, and she recently did a podcast with Joe Rogan about life in North Korea. And I thought about some of the things that, you know, it's all about starvation, obviously, right? It's starvation. And let me tell you from firsthand account, I'll never know starvation to the extent of what she went through, but I have known what starvation feels like, and it is all-consuming. It is to the point where there is nothing else you can think of but food, and you will literally do anything to get that meal. There's a North Korean, or I should just say Korean proverb, that it's better to die of a full belly. So even if you're going to die eating. And she gives this example of there was an earthquake in Korea, I forget what year, and instead of running out to shelter, they ran to the kitchen and ate as much as they could, because it's better to die with a full stomach. They're also told to not trust the back of your head, for the walls, the mice, the rats all have ears and eyes. And this state of paranoia, and how everybody's controlled by hunger, and how it really is a Hunger Games type of system, where you had the people in Pyongyang, I think, is that North Korea, Penang? Is that the big capital spot, I believe? So once again, the haves, the have-nots. And then, you know, the people in the countryside who are, you know, according to her, look, I'll try to stay neutral, but I mean, the UN's reported on this. You know, a lot of people, I will tell just random facts that I learned about, and I'll cite it. I'll give them credible resources, not just Western, you know, but I'll try to do ones that have a information that could be seen from both sides. Because let me tell you something I've learned about living here is if you try to talk about or educate somebody on something that's happening in the world, they will just call you just a Western propagandist, or you're just falling for Western news. Like, no, like the irony is lost on them that the information of the world is half of it censored on them, you know. But it's one of the interesting experiences of this whole thing. Vietnam, and I'm literally walking distance away from China. So a lot of Chinese culture, Vietnamese culture, what's the word I'm looking for? there's a lot of Chinese culture. There's a lot of people who have Chinese families here, vice versa. I'm literally in a border area, okay? So I get to see what life is like. It's not so bad, on the borders, obviously, from what you see. What you can see across the river is just a ghost town, really. Every once in a while you see a car, but you have these huge empty skyscrapers that I've shown videos of on the China side. The Vietnamese side, well, I can only imagine what they see when they look over there. The darkest place on earth is North Korea because they have no electricity in the countrysides. North Korea is one of the places that uses its GDP most in the world on weapons. So nuclear weapons testing, biological testing, and they test on their own people, according to Yunnan Park. So they'll test a bomb, they'll send in political dissidents, people who went against the party. She gives this example, like if you don't have the Kim picture, the North Koreans, the Kim dynasty, they didn't let the North Koreans know about the Christian Bible. So they just used the Bible and said that the world started with Kim Jong, what was the first one? Kim Jong-un, Kim Jong-il, Kim Jong-sung. I think that was the first one, Kim Jong-sung, the one that did the communist revolution. That day one started with him. And that when they died, they become God, so they can read your thoughts. And it's this constant state of paranoia. I just recommend you watch this podcast. Joe Rogan, okay? You need to hear it because it'll put you in tears, what's happening in Korea. I'm not an activist. I traveled to this far side of the world to understand, to get rid of preconceptions that I thought I, knew about this and that, about, I wanted to experience everything that we see on, our stupid propaganda in America, which there is. Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, all that crap. It's all freaking bullshit. The real news is the underground now. It's literally podcast. It's the Rogans. It's the Lex Fridmans. You could argue Tim Pool. You could argue the Ben Shapiro, the Daily Wire. Depending on people who yes, they might have conservative values. Some of them might just be libertarians. For example, Tim Pool, kind of like me, independent, believes in small government, believes that the government should be as small, just like the founding fathers. And I actively oppose the idea of this neo-Marxist movement that's starting to take root in America.